no matter how big or how small. Find your dream and go after it.
Daily on my knees, begging for a miracle. I say I talk to God, but it feels like He don't hear me though. This reality is really trying to bring me down. Screaming out loud, but it feels like I don't make a sound. Getting lost on this road, falling in the struggle. Sometimes I feel so alone, trapped under the rubble. To keep the dream alive, and I never give in. I'm made to survive. When I dream on, wide awake.
Yeah, Doc Native in the house, bro.
That's good.
Good to meet you, brother. Good to meet you, man.
Good to meet you too, man. How you
Thank
doing?
you for. I'm doing good, bro. It's a beautiful day in here in Arizona,
Oh, yeah.
and I came coming over this weekend and having a ceremony, so kind of all sunburnt and all that, but
Yeah.
it's good. Good vibes, you know. Um, so hello everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Another episode Indigenize the World. And on this page over here, we like to highlight natives doing things, especially natives that have been doing the craft and natives that are starting the craft. And this is the journey, the stories, what made them, what does it take, and also what's influencing, what's inspiring, what they're listening to now. Like what's on the artist's mind. It's been a hard time. A lot of people want to express themselves. People want to hear how other natives are doing in this pandemic. We have been surviving trauma after trauma after trauma, and for you, Doc Native, I thank you and I welcome to this platform. I love the music.
Another
It's
shot.
the music, bro, the production, the sound, the quality. So just hearing and listening to you, I could tell music has been in your life.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
could,
Music.
I could,
Yeah, it's been a long time. Actually, music started in my family like almost 100 years ago. My great grandfather, Isaac Batiste Sr., bought a $1 pipe organ and taught himself how to play. And then so he taught my grandfather, the original Doc, and it trickled all the way down to myself and to my brother. And so we sang gospel music. So we toured around the world singing and learning how to do like harmonies and play the right way. And my dad always pushed us to like be better. We would see other people on stage and we'd be like, oh well we're just some native family from Oklahoma and South Florida, like but we had the talent. So he pushed us to drive and strive further and to be as good as we could be. And he started us off at a young age. My dad did, and my brother, I always say that he was like such a great singer, and so my dad would teach us how to sing, and my brother would hit all the notes correctly, and then he'd get to go play. And I would sit there for hours trying to learn how to sing, and it just never resonated with me. But one day I got home and there was a drum set up in one of the rooms, and I was so excited. And as soon as I jumped on the drum set, man, it was off to the races. Like it just spoke to me in a different way than singing did with my brother. So I fell in love with more of the musicality, more of the band, rehearsing, and all that growing up at an early age. So that helped me into learning how to produce and learning how to produce the right way, and not only producing in the studio but also producing on stage, because there's many different levels to music. You can produce in the studio, but you got chances to make mistakes. When you're on
hmm
stage live, I mean, you just got that one take, and if you mess up, I
hmm
mean, everybody sees
Everybody sees it.
it. There ain't no control alt delete on stage.
Yep,
And
yep.
so striving to be as good as I could be on stage every night, night after night, going around the world touring, um, has always been like like a high for me. Like I get so nervous before going on stage. Like even coming on here, like I get so nervous, like to where like I can't eat, can't sit still. I just but as soon as the lights turn on, man, it's go time, and then everything becomes muscle in me. Like you practice so many times that it starts to lock in, you know. So I fell in love with the process, and I'm still in love with the process to this day, whether it be in the studio or whether it be on stage, whether I'm on the microphone or I'm on the drums. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like as long as I am creating, I feel like I feel like I'm walking in that purpose, or one of my purposes in life, you know.
Yeah, for real. And I know a lot of natives, they have seen a lot of your music. They've seen you at the VMAs. They've seen you working with a lot of talented other artists, established and local into your area. But can you walk us through, tell us a little story how it is where you're at?
Yeah. So I'm on the Seminole Reservation in Hollywood, Florida. Uh, I just moved into a new home. I've been working on it for a long time. I'm actually in my makeshift studio right now. It's still in the process of becoming an actual studio. Um, but yeah, like I get my motivation from my people around me. I was just watching Reservation Dogs, and you know how they're trying to go to California and all that. It
Hmm.
really spoke to me because that's how I was. I wanted to go to California. I wanted to leave the res. There was nothing for me here. I felt like it. I felt like that. Like, nah, I'm trying to get out. I'm trying to be on the other side so that way I can make a name for myself. And I mean, I did go out. I went to New York, Atlanta, LA. I checked it out there, but like it wasn't home. And one thing that it kind of felt like drawing me back here was because of my people, like my
Yeah.
the young people around here, and um and going around the world and rapping, and then also going to different reservations. Like a lot of our young people feel like they've been trapped on the reservation, that they can't make it here, and that has caused to a lot of anxiety and depression and things like that. And I've gone through the exact same thing. I know exactly what it feels like. So I told myself, I said, wouldn't it be amazing if I could make such a big noise on my reservation and show other people that our reservation is not a trap. It feels like it, but we can also make it out of here by still being on here. So I established myself on my reservation. I got a loan against my name, and really like jumped off of the cliff, hoping that I could fly. And I went to school, learned how to man my own studio. I learned how everything is supposed to be mixed and properly done. And me and my brother started collaborating, and little by little, our name started getting out there and being established here on the reservation. It was wonderful saying that we made our music right here on the res, and then we took it a step further when we went to the VMAs. And when we got to the VMAs and we won, we recorded all our parts right here on the reservation, and we brought our res on MTV Moon Man back in 2017 to show that not just for us, but to show that you can do what you're set out to be and still live on the reservation. You can still make it from right here. I mean, there's still hope, you know.
Yeah. And that's the very that's the potential of right now, today's youth, today's generation, who have all the means and technology, education, but they lack that motivation, or the inspiration of and like you said, there's a lot of obstacles in front of us, a lot of trials and tribulations that some of us are just put on us. We didn't have no say about the situation we want to grow up in. It was just what we're born in. But how we overcome that, many ways and many outlets. But you chose music and music production, and it's been in your family for quite some time. What were some hardships in the music? What were some things that you kind of had to oh, I need to work on this?
Uh, I'd say just getting out of my own way, you know. A lot of doubt, seeing everybody else and starting to compare myself. oh, this artist is a lot further along than I am, and I'm at this age, and they're at that age. Damn, their music sounds so much better than mine. like just comparing myself, like that was always a lot of my downfall, my hardships. Second guessing my music, you know, like I got files on top of files of songs where I'm just like, yo, this isn't good enough. I'm not gonna put any of this out. And I got caught in that same cycle, that same loop of just making music and never putting it out because it just wasn't ready. It just wasn't ready. And somebody told me, one of my best friends, he told me, he was like, you're gonna become the best that no one's ever heard of. You're gonna be the best. You're gonna be the best artist that nobody's ever gonna hear of because you don't put anything out, or you want to be behind the scenes. And I wasn't like fully invested in myself as a rapper or anything else center stage wise. I was comfortable behind the scenes in the studio, writing, producing, things like that, like putting my 2 cents in that way. But I wasn't comfortable being the front man. And my friend Vigilante, who's another South Florida rapper, he challenged me. He was like, stop calling yourself everything else but an artist. He was like, you have to start introducing yourself as an artist. And he said, once you start doing that, then you'll start believing it. And then next thing you know, I put out music. I put out an EP. I started getting real serious with it. I've had all these connections because of helping my brother and trying to learn the ins and outs of the behind the scenes, that all these people were set in place to help me, but I wasn't utilizing it. And so when I finally snapped out of it, I was like, yo, I have producers over here. I have engineers over here that are my friends. I got songwriters. I got people who are in the industry that can help me with promotions and how to go about the business. And all it was just a phone call, a text away. And that sometimes picking up the phone can be the heaviest thing in the world. Mm-hmm. And I had to teach, I had to relearn and change the culture of my mind, thinking that I'm doing it by myself, because there was all these outlets right there around me that the creator put in place. He knew my future before I even got to it. So everything was set up for me. I just had to put one foot in front of the other and start making it happen. And thank God that I did, because now, like you said, like the clarity of my music is not by accident. It's by a lot of work, but also by understanding and learning from the people around me, and being humble enough to take criticism from the people and them saying, oh no, this is a little bit too harsh. This isn't harsh enough. Like, oh, you playing it too safe, or no, you're going way too far. Like, bring it back. There's a lot of give and take in the music industry, and not music industry, in just the music in general. So you have to open yourself up for that. But the first thing to do is just take that step and then start the process. Start getting yourself going.
Yeah, I think that's true, because there's, there's not that many native, or let's just say that there's not that many places to find native artists. Like now there is, you can Google it, you can find what you want to find, but there's not. So when another artist finds another artist doing what they do, just to see if there's people out there doing it, that tends to, comparison, or, oh, they're doing it, they sound better. It's major. That's a major thing for a lot of creatives out there that are trying to do something new, something fresh, but someone else is kind of doing it a little bit similar, Yeah. That comes to the question, when was the first time you ever heard of native hip hop?
First time I ever heard native hip hop was, I'd say it was Keys IMC. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was one of my, back in my church days, like back when they had the youth groups come to the reservation. Like, it's funny. I'll tell you how small the world is. So I'm with a band called the Magnificent Seven, and we won the VMA, of course. But one of the guys that's in the group, his name is DJ MC1. And when I saw Keith IMC performing, I was like, yo, I was like, that's dope. He's sitting there freestyling, and he's doing all this, and they had a DJ. Turns out the DJ is MC1, who is now in my group, and I didn't even know until like maybe 7 months ago or something. He was like, yo, I was there, I was DJing. I was like, bro, you guys inspired me to make music. And then who knew
Wow.
I would make music with him and then bring home one of the most biggest awards out there in the music industry. And if it wasn't for them and it wasn't for their music and trailblazing, I don't know where I would be, you know?
Wow. So how old were you then when you found native hip hop?
I think I was like 11, 12.
Wow. So that was way back in the
Yeah,
day. Wow.
yeah,
And Keith
yeah.
IMC, he's also part of your tribe, right? Seminole?
Yeah, he's
Oh, but
Seminole.
he's
Yeah, he is
Oklahoma. But
Seminole.
he's Oklahoma Seminole.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
cousins.
Yeah. Yeah, because
we
yeah, you
we
guys got
yeah. And it was also Red Cloud. Red Cloud was a big influence. I remember opening up an XXL magazine and seeing this dude, like this real rough looking dude with these dreads, and he had this bandana like down. I was like, man, that dude looks serious. And then I read about him, and he said he was native. I was like, yo. I was like, we made it. We made it to XXL magazine, and so I was so excited about that. And then a couple years later, I mean, he's become one of my good friends, and I really appreciate his impact in my life, especially him being another native rapper, him taking it to the next level with his freestyling. I mean, he was Guinness Book of World Record holder for the longest freestyle. That alone is crazy. Him and Crystal Lightning, like they're good friends of mine, and being around them and hearing their music and hearing how off the wall his music is, like it really lights a fire under me, you know.
hmm Yeah, for real. I like that because some of my first native hip hop like artists was exactly the same thing. Keys IMC and Red Cloud, and Defi. Those are
Yeah,
some of the OGs. And because one thing that we need to I'm trying to highlight a lot of native artists and talk about that particular question. When did you find native hip hop? Because we kind of have to build a timeline because we are in a culture that really didn't come from ours. So it's like
yeah,
we have to track ourselves. We have to kind of this is where it started. We have our originators too. We have our OGs in the game too. Is recognize them. They're still walking with us.
right.
Some of them aren't making music anymore. Some of them went off into different, media, movies,
Right.
authors, educators. So, but their voice started with hip hop.
Yeah.
So there's so many out there. A lot of our cousins been rapping, but who were let's take it local. Who were some of the first seminal artists, hip hop artists that kind of put it on for y'all down there?
Uh, a couple of well, we're all basically cousins out here, but
Yeah.
Carradine, he was one of the few that I seen all the time just doing it. Carradine, my cousin Steven Chad Billy, may he rest in peace. He was always out there doing it. A couple others. One up and coming now. His name is A5. He's out there doing it. He's getting big numbers too. I think his last video hit like 450K on YouTube
Wow.
a couple months ago. And
hmm
these guys, I mean, everybody's just like right down the street from me. Who else? Who else? A couple of my friends, like they not friends, like cousins. Everybody's basically cousin down here. Uh, they were called the Savage Twins back in the day. It was fun because we would have all these. We would have these little contests. Not little, I'm gonna say little, but we'd have these like Seminole Star Search and stuff, and then turns out like people you've been playing basketball with or whatever were nice with it. They had nice flows and
hmm
stuff, and they come up and they would really put themselves out there. I love the fact that a lot of us weren't afraid to just go out there and leave it all on the stage, you know?
Yeah. And growing up down there, I never been down there. Like I have a homie, he lived down there within your guys' tribe, and you tell us all these, gator stories and, wrestling and all that. And but besides that, how your music, is so diverse. I can sell so many influences down there in just a culture itself, you know. How is it down there for a native making music? Like,
Yeah, my uncle, how I actually started was he would take us to the swap shops or the little swap meets, and they'd have like these little studios, small little booths, and they'd have them back to back next to each other. And my uncle's friend, Curtis Lima, he had his own little studio in the swap meet. So my uncle would call up my dad and be like, yo, I want to take the nephews and go to the studio. And so my dad would be like, all right, yeah, go ahead. You know, and it was bonding time for me and my uncle. And so he picked me up, picked my brother up, and then my cousin G, who was working, who was he was rapping at the time, doing gospel rap. So my uncle was trying to keep us on the straight and narrow, but still like introduce us to that world. So I heard my cousin rapping, and I was like, yo, he's so good. And we were like only like maybe 11, 12 years old at the time. And I was kind of upset because I was like, why is he so good? Like, I don't understand. And I was like, I'm the one that's supposed to be in music, and he's just supposed to be playing football. Like I don't understand. So we get out there, and he introduced me to everybody, and it was all love from the beginning. I mean, I can't believe like some of these dudes would be sitting down, like giving us the time of day, teaching us how to write music and putting out like 16 bars and stuff. So I'm sitting there at the swap shops, just learning how to write like simple little hooks and stuff. And one of my biggest influences was named Kenny Brown, may he rest in peace. He was a lead singer of Liberty City, who was signed to Jive Records. And Kenny Brown is also the one who wrote the theme song for the Miami Heat. And so whenever like you hear like the old school theme song, that's my mentor. He's the one who taught me how to write. And when we go in the studio, so my cousin was always in the studio with me, G. So he'd be sitting there writing and everything. And I'm over there looking at him, right? And so we would go off to our own little corners. So I'd be sitting there trying to write anything better that he was doing. So I come out, I'll do my flow, and then he'd go up and then he'd just kill it. 16 bars, just like anything and everything, alliteration, onomatopoeias, anything that had to do with some type of poetry and grammar, like he had it on point at such a young age. And I was like floored. And I was kind of upset at myself, like my little cousin is murdering me on these songs. Until later I found out that the other dude was writing his rhymes for him. And I was going against grown men trying to write just as good as they were. So it kind of made me feel better after, but it helped sharpen my skills and give me that fire to really want to learn how to write rhymes and put the rhyme schemes together at an interesting place.
Real. And you know, like a lot of that being in the studio, you know, it kind of gets competitive, you know, sometimes, but that's just like some of the nature of things, you know. I don't know why it's like that, but it's just what it is. You know, we always push each other to go next level. You gotta have that. And you know, and that's good. Your lyrical abilities, recognizing your skills, you know. But you said, what was your first project? I know you said you didn't find your voice, or more or less behind the scenes, but what was that first project you were confident most like, this is it, this is the one, I'm gonna do it and put it out?
The first self-titled project was my EP. It was entitled Doc, self-titled. And I put out 3 songs on there, 3 songs that I thought were strong. And I had like a little team around me, just of a couple friends who are in the music scene down here. And so I talked to them and I was like, yo, is this any good? Like, should I put it out? And I literally sat on the I sat on the EP for like 3 years before I even put it out. So when it did come out, it sounded current for the time that I had after I finished it. But when I put it out, I mean, it was 3, almost 4 years old. But that's when I finally mustered up the courage to put it out. And when I did, I got some love back from it. I got to do a couple shows. I got to do some promo videos and some performances at local radio, internet radio shows down here. Shout out to Universe Miami TV. They put me on. I appreciate them like giving me a chance. And one of the songs that had actually pushed me to the top though was the song with my brother, and it was called The Storm, and we wrote it, and it was about our people. Cause my brother had his EP, I had my EP, and we would sing our songs, but it was a lot of modern things that were happening to us. But we would get asked by our elders and about our people and our peers around us, when are you going to write a song about our people? And no lie, it scared me, and I can only speak for me, but it scared me because you're not only speaking for yourself, now you're speaking for all your people. You're speaking for your elders, your ancestors, you speak for everyone when you put something out like that. And if the narrative is wrong, if your lyrics are somehow misleading, if you misspeak and write something that's not factual, it's going to come out and you are going to hear it from everyone. I mean, if I put out a track and it's not the best, I might hear it from a couple of people and it might be, it could roll off my shoulder. But if I'm writing a song about my people, my whole tribe is going to be mad at me. And they can find me because I'm right here on the res, So it took us a minute to actually sit down and create the song. And we never wanted to just sit down and say, okay, today we're writing a song, because that would be forcing it. So one day my brother came over and we were just having a conversation in the studio, and I had my keyboard like lined up. So I was sitting there playing while we're just talking and just being brothers. I can't even remember to this day what we were talking about. So I'm sitting there playing, and these chords started coming to my hands, and I was like, I kind of like these. And I asked my brother, I was like, do you like these chords? Like I cut them off like mid-sentence. And he was like, yeah, I like those. And usually he would be like, yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
Like, my brother's one of my hardest critics. And so as I'm playing, I was like, it really feels like I got something here. And then so he said, lay it down. So he laid it down, and then we put pen to paper. And as soon as we put pen to paper, it was on. Verse after verse, chorus after chorus, breakdown, everything just flowed out. It's like the pen just, as soon as it touched, didn't release off the paper until it was over with. And that song, The Storm, took us all over the world. It got us in front of so many different audiences. Took us from Cali all the way to London. It took us from London to Spain. The song plays in 126 Hard Rock cafes around the world. Like, this song was so powerful. But the most powerful thing is that we got the seal of approval from all of our elders. What we did was we typed out the lyrics and we sent it, and we walked it up to each elder and then went over it with them and was like, is this correct? And they were like, yes, it's correct. And one of the big things that was told to me by our elders is that rap music that is sometimes hard to understand. So they said, when you speak as if you were trying to really relay the message. So that's what I did. And since then, we got one of our first biggest awards. We got music videos, and we did everything on the reservation, even the music video. Everything is on the reservation. Everything, our director, Stephen Paul Judd, he came down, so he was native. We had a native director. We even got our native youth to come, our Seminole youth, to come on and learn how to put a music video together. We actually did 2 music videos. We did one with our youth, and then we did one with Stephen Paul Judd. So that way they could get a feel of the cameras, they could get a feel of how to wardrobe. So not only was it a song for us, and not only it was a music video for us, but we brought along as many people as we could with us. So that way it was, so that way our youth could have something that they were proud of, that they could accomplish, and or that they could feel accomplished with, and they could learn from the best, because we only use the best, and we want our native youth to be the best as well. So who better than to learn from one of the greatest native directors that we have in Stephen Paul Jett. And it took us really far, and I'm still so proud of that music video to this day. I think it's about to hit 10 years in a couple days, actually, since we did the music video.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, bro, that's an amazing story. That's a lot of comments, bro. It's just like that's a dope story, bro. Some people say they remember that track and they love that track, so I can see it means a lot to a lot of people, bro. We can still find that music on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
That song, The Storm.
Yeah, The Storm, Doc and Spencer Batiste.
Yeah, check that out, y'all, and then send him a message and tell him how much that song meant to you, what you thought about that song, because it's all about feedback, you know. A lot of and this is another reason why I'm doing this, you know. People don't get to see the face. I know it's been pandemic. We haven't been doing shows. We haven't been doing interviews, you know, whatever we do to promote ourselves, you know. So this is my way of like helping the artists, helping the native scene, you know, to not only get recognition with our own people, but within this Instagram platform, within this algorithms, you know, and then just keep pushing ourselves, keep pushing each other to say, speak up. Let me hear your story. Talk to me, you know? So this is what this is just all about, bro. Telling your story, not just to me, but you know, it's going to be out in the world, out in the public, and you know, and that what you just said is a beautiful way of like what I'm also trying to understand is the indigenization, trying to clarify what indigenize is. And from what you just said is a perfect way, without even saying that word, you, the elders coming to you, say, hey, we need a song. What about us? All right, I got you. And then there you did. I'm pretty sure you did some history behind your tribe, right? You did some like, what should we write about? Should we write about when the boats came, or should we talk about before that, how the love and unity was, or should we talk about now, or should we talk about, you know, there's so many different stories within different ways of life for indigenous people. You know, we all have a different timeline as far as when the trauma started and when the healing process had to begin, you know. So I'm glad that through these 100 years of music in your family, you know, here you are leaving a mark for your people all across the world, bro. Your music is being heard, and when time goes on, and maybe we won't be here, but that music will remain. Your art will remain. You know, so it's good that you chose to be conscious of your voice. You know, you took some time to kind of get comfortable with that microphone, and then get comfortable on stage. Can you tell us about some of those your first performance on stage?
Oh man, one of my first performances on stage, like actually rapping, was at this youth conference, and it was like super tiny, and it wasn't even my song. Like I was just doing the backgrounds, going yeah, and one of my mentors was up there. He was rapping, and his name was Brother K, and he's a big Hawaiian dude, and he sounded a lot like DMX, like he's big brooding voice and everything. So, and he was probably like 6'2", 6'3", or whatever. So I was hiding behind him, just doing like little things here and there. And so yeah, he invited us up on stage, and he was like, "Yo, if you can learn my track," he would say, "I'll let you do the ad-libs." But like it was the next night. And so I'm sitting there like listening to his music, trying to write down all his lyrics and stuff, and like I don't even know if I'm getting it right, but man, I appreciated him because he like sees so many people that gave me a chance to get my feet wet, gave me a chance to shake the cobwebs off, and I try to do that now. anytime I get some youth or some young artist that pops into my DMs and hits me up and like, yo, can you hear this? Can you check this out? Can we collab? Like, even if we collab, bro, like I'll do it. I'll do it for free. As long as I see that you're pushing as hard as you can, and that you're in there day and night, and you're actually doing something productive with your music, man, I'll help as much as I can. I even do that here on my reservation. Like before the pandemic hit, I would go to our Boys and Girls Club, and I would go and sit there and teach the kids, like from 2 years old all the way up to 17 years old, how to create a song, how to write music. Of course, the little kids, they wouldn't know what to do, so all I would do is just hold the synthesizer and let them like make
Yeah.
noises. But there would be like maybe 2 or 3 kids that were 14, 15 years old that want to learn how it's done. And for the most part, like music production, I didn't learn that until I was older. And I always wanted somebody to come and teach me. So I was like, what better way to give back than to show these kids how to make music? And now a lot of these kids, they are established beat makers. They are selling beats. They'll hit me up and then ask me for advice from time to time, and they still got my number. Like, I still hit them up. They still ask questions, and I'm still trying to give them as much as I can, because I mean, they're the next that's gonna take it to the next level. So I just want to do my part and help them out, just like my mentors helped me. So I mean, it's just a way to keep it going, keep the legacy going, keep these kids' minds on something better, and on a way that's not going to put them in the streets, not going to put them in a bad situation. I mean, there's bad situations all over the place, but at least for the most part, this will keep their minds fresh and keep them sharp and focused on something. Because all we need is something, and I want to help. I think that's one of my spiritual gifts is helping or giving. So that's one way I want to keep flourishing is by giving back what I've been given.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect way to say where do you think within this new year, new fresh, people got new ideas. Where do you want to take your music? You got that Bust Down track. That was explosive, bro. That was explosive, bro. Yeah. I was like, what? I was like,
I'm chilling, I'm ripping, tripping, and they gonna fall. Yo, so when I made that song, I just wanted to have fun. Like, we have a lot of issues, we have a lot of traumas, we have a lot that weighs heavy on us. But as Native people, we like to laugh. We like to have fun. We have our own sense of humor. So what I wanted to do was not show just the serious side, but I wanted to show that there's many layers to not just me, but to the music that I make. So even if you watch the music video, like of course, like I'm still wearing some Native jewelry. I'm still wearing beaded earrings and stuff, because I'm always going to rep my culture. But I'm also showing a little bit of my comedy side. We're still here in Hollywood. I'm still repping my city. And I got one of our youths in the music video. He's got his hair braided. He's doing a freestyle dance, because I wanted, like, me and my brother, we're always the same way. We're always trying to bring one of our youth with us, so that way they can see the process. They can see what goes on. That it's not always just showing up, lights, camera, action. Like there's a lot of work that puts into it. And man, he killed that. His name is Aiden, and he lives right here on my reservation. So I brought him. He went and killed it, and we just had a great time. I put all my creative humor into it, because like I don't get to show that often. So I want to write something fun, and so that's a lot where this next part of my career phase is going, is showing like how fun music can be. Like, I still have some serious songs that are coming out, some songs about my past, which are super heavy, but I also have this lighter side, which we all need to laugh, we all need to feel good, we don't need to think so much, so heavy all the time. So
Yeah,
that's
then the world needs to see that, bro. The
yeah,
world needs to see that.
yeah,
And not only that, I think the people that do listen to native hip hop genre, you know, they tend to, I noticed they tend to just want to hear the serious stories, the traumatic colonization, decolonization, decolonial messages, you know, resistance flows, you know. Hey, I didn't know nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of it goes hard. The beats, the lyrics, the images, the concepts, you know, it all goes together perfectly. But there's another side of us too. There's a
right,
whole nother side of us, you
right,
know, and as native artists who are trying to like put out content, bro, I think that's there's many layers to our story. Once we understand how to tell our story, you know, I
yeah,
think then we can kind of understand, okay, how can I embody this message? How can I embody this message? Not a general, but you as a person. You
right,
know, I think that's where I hope this native in all genres, all indigenous creators out there really get down to personal, you know, because we're always talking general indigenous people. Well, what about who? What about you? What are you,
right.
how, what makes you happy? Let me hear you tell me a joke, you know. And then, like, that's one thing I've always tried to do in my craft as well, you know. And I love when artists are not afraid to show that side of themselves and to the listeners, because majority of listeners, they just want to hear the resistance flows, you know, or the trauma, you know, in our communities, which is okay. But these, I think within where we're at in the culture of indigenous, we're stepping up to that, to where we can show a lot of different perspectives, different comedic comedy, how we laugh, how we cry, how we get angry, how we respond to these things as well. I
Yeah,
think another sign is that, of course, is the reservation dogs. The more mainstream we get, you know,
yeah,
these stories are going to start highlighting a lot of different things, a lot of different tones, different colors, and that's the beautiful part of today's generation. So I hope
yeah,
a lot of artists are seeing that, and they can dig deeper, because a lot of that's not being shown. And so there's more opportunity for all the people out there that wants to start something fresh, that want to start something new. Well, there you go. Right here, Doc Native's doing it. He sees, he wants to show his side of, he wants to show all sides of himself, not just one, you know. Yeah, I like to dress up too in my traditional wear, but I don't want to just put myself out there. I like, this is who I am every day. Like, I'm not like that every day, you know. Like, I kick back like
yeah.
everybody else in this world. We're not so different from the world around us, you know. So I like that message, Doc. I like where you're gonna take your music, and I can't wait, because that's fun, bro. You got a way of really amplifying that energy, bro. That bust down track. I hope y'all check that out, bro. Give that a like and share it. Put it in your playlist, because that's a track
Check it
for
out on
the some.
YouTube too. We just
Yep,
hit over
YouTube.
100,000 on YouTube.
Yep. That's within a couple months, bro. So I was like, woo, this is fire, bro. And so you're gaining a lot of traction
Yeah, yeah,
within this.
yeah. It's starting to build. Like it's
Yeah.
it's getting more. It's fun to see the numbers go like this. Like
Hmm.
one day, one month I might not be doing so hot. The next month I'm shooting off to the stars. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Another video, like also going back to the roots of our people. Me and my brother just put out, my brother Spencer Batiste, we just put out a track called The Dream, or it's called Dream. And
Yeah.
this
We were just
was,
playing that at the beginning of the live.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
yep.
that's the one that was just playing. And uh, we made that track not really trying to portray a certain message. What I was doing was just writing on some of my past traumas and revealing a little bit more of myself, because not only showing the comedic side of myself but showing the more seriousness is a piece of me that's vulnerable and it's scary, but if I'm not going to open myself up to that, then there's no progress being made. And I might have a piece of my story that's going to help someone pass or get through a trauma that they're going through right now. So when I started writing it, it started turning into like how I overcame these traumas and how we started running the race of life. And at the end, we there's a way out. There's a way to keep living, keep dreaming, and so we wanted to drive home that, because I mean that's we made the song at the start of the pandemic, so over a year ago, and it hit and it resonated with us because a lot of people had to, including ourselves, including myself, had to look inward because we were stuck with all this time. We were stuck quarantining. So you can only watch so much Netflix. You can only watch so many YouTube videos before the stuff that you've been hiding away for a long time starts to come out. And so when it does come out, what do you do with it? So started writing it down, started bringing it out, and then wanted to share it with the world. So when we shared it with the world, we wanted to look at everybody else who had a dream as well, including our princess, Cheyenne Kippenberg, who became Miss Indian World for 2 years in a row. First one to ever do that.
Wow.
My cousin, who is fighting the stigma of Tourette syndrome and the help of the medical marijuana. He's only like maybe 10, 11 years old. And he's a Taekwondo champion in Oklahoma. He's part of the Choctaw Nation. So we put him in there. Taboo from the Black Eyed Peas with all of his accomplishments. Indigenous Enterprise. Adrian and Sean for the LGBTQ community, Two Spirit community. We wanted to bring everybody that we could, including Brock Weaver, who was in the UFC and who's a bare knuckle boxing fighter. Shia LaBeouf, she's a great boxer as well. She was just in the Golden Gloves, I think. And we were trying to get as many influential natives a part of this, including Deb Holland and Wes Studi. So everybody's packed into this music video, and including the people that were around us. The dancers that were in the music video with us, they all have amazing stories, and we listed everybody. So we listed their Instagrams, we listed their Facebook, social media, everything. So that way, our listeners, whoever watched the music video, can look up each individual person and see their story, see their resistance, the resiliency, how they overcame and how they're chasing their dreams. And we got a native director, a young native director named Adam Conti, who is, I think he's part of the Mohawk tribe, and I can't remember all his tribal affiliations, but everything is listed on the music video, and it was a blessing to work with so many great native talents and such great people. And we were there in Utah, and it was just a really great showing of our unity and our people, because we're not just showing one tribe, we were showing many tribes put together.
For real, bro. And from what I'm hearing, bro, it's the perfect way to tell everybody that's listening, you can't do it on your own.
No,
you can't do it on your own. It takes support. You got to collaborate. You got to learn how to collaborate. You know, you got to learn that. You got to learn how to support each other. I know it's for a lot of artists, like how we say, sometimes it gets competitive. Sometimes like, comparison, you know, so kind of, you know, I think that's kind of natural at first. You don't want to stay in those thoughts. You know, it's okay to think like that. You don't want to say those thoughts out loud, but you kind of, you know, we're all human, you know, so anxieties, whatever come about. But don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged. These are your relatives out there. You know, just because they might be doing some things over here you ain't doing, go out there and support them, you know? Go get to know them. Just like how I reached out to you, like, Doc, bro, you want to do an interview? Like, we never met before, you know? But I heard your music, I seen you around, you know? And I was like, wow, these guys are like, I need to hear their story, you know? But at that time too, back then, I was doing the same thing. I was like, these guys went to the VMAs. I was like, there's natives at the VMAs right now. What the heck am I doing wrong, bro? Like, oh, I get it. I'm not working. I'm on the couch. These guys are working. So what did I do? I started working too, bro. I started like try to get digging deep. Like, there's ways. People are listening. They're at the VMAs. People are moving, bro. So if there's anybody watching right now and you want to start now, and and start researching. We didn't get all this information. We didn't get this confidence. We didn't get all this overnight. The success and the following. It took a lot of going out there, getting outside your comfort zone, and getting used to being uncomfortable, and get used to that. But don't be ever discouraged. All our people came so long. Now's not the time to stop. Now's the time to get back up and start creating, and always keep creating, no matter what. Make this life, no matter how hard it is, no matter how hard today is, make it beautiful. Make the struggle look beautiful, and through that struggle, someone might be watching you and they're going to get inspired. And they might even know your story and what you're dealing with, and they'll be like, "Dang, he's struggling so hard. He's making it look so good, bro. I gotta be happy because he has less than I do. Why am I? Look at me. I got everything, and he has, man, and he's happy. I'm not. What is going on? So I know a lot of people deal with a lot of these things because we feel trapped. We feel trapped. A lot of our youth feel like they don't have a voice, and right now is a perfect time for people to start speaking. Get your artists, your business, your everything you do, get it organized because the whole world is watching us. With every time a native rises, another more opportunities come right under them. And that's the beautiful thing about you, Doc Native, is that you're bringing the youth, you're bringing your elders, you're bringing people around you, learning the process, taking them over here, taking them there. That's what we need in our communities. That's what artists need to do, and that's the responsibility that they need to be aware of, that your success is everybody else's success. And we got to say that. We got to verbalize that with our people. Like, I'm rising because you guys are rising too. We're all rising together. I'm not the only one. And I'm very proud and that you're doing that, bro. You're taking the youth with you, taking anybody you can. Let's go. Let's go. You ready? Let's go.
Yeah.
There's room. There's room for everybody over here with Doc Native. And so go support this artist, bro. He's a real genuine man, and he does everything from the heart with prayer, and that's the beautiful thing about our people, about our native artists, is we do it with prayer. Our process is different. Our creative process is not like other artists and other genres. That's the thing about art, quote unquote. It's not really art. You can say it. Sometimes it is, maybe, I don't know, but it's something sacred. I know that. You can put a name on it, but it's really sacred. And your music has blessed so many people, the youth, your own people, which is really has to be highlighted, because you really represent your people well, from the music I've been listening to, the music videos. I see the Seminole in there, I see your family in there. And that's the beautiful part about it, as well as your traumas, as well as your success, your humor, if to all the youth out there, to anybody that's dealing with any mental problems, depressions, anxieties, can you give them some words of wisdom? Say some things you tell yourself.
That's it. Yeah. You're not alone. It doesn't matter. Like, I've talked to my father, I've talked to my grandmother, and they didn't have words for it back then. They didn't know what anxiety was. They didn't know what depression was. They just know that it was heavy, that life was heavy, but they had to get up and keep going because they had nothing else. And now we have our words where we can use to help each other, but we also have our ears too, and we can help by just listening sometimes. There's a reason why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. So sometimes for us, it takes us to go out and help. But if you're not feeling up to it, I mean, reach out to someone, and we'll be here. I mean, I know I will. And there's been so many different people that have helped me. So I just send many prayers, many good vibes to everyone's way, and I hope that we can all overcome any stress or anxieties together.
No. Well, thank you, Doc. I much appreciate you doing this interview, bro.
Yeah,
And
thank you, man. I appreciate that, man.
yeah, it's a really beautiful story, bro. I know you got so much to share, man, as well as knowledge, producing, engineering, stage performance. You have so much to teach. You have done so many great things with your music, your musical journey, and with as well as taking it with your people too. So you have a lot to teach for a lot of young artists, native artists who want to help. How do you help? How do you take your success and share it? It's not just about you. It's not just about us. We got family to take care of. So how do we do that with our successes? And it does get heavy, but as long as we got our support system, the load gets a little bit lighter. We can talk with each other. We can share our stresses, whatever our pain is. So that's good. Express yourself. Everybody that's watching, having a hard time, you see your youth out there, your cousins, your little brothers, sisters, just our young people, bro. Help them out. Help them find their voice. Help them find their voice. Because with this artist here, this is what happens when you start learning how to express yourself, and then you find a path, and you walk that path, and you take this turn, you take that turn. You don't know where it's going, but you're going, and you're going, and that's good, bro. I'm glad I met you on this path, and hopefully one day we can cross path and rock the mic and kick back and vibe and just chill, bro. Because that's the beauty of this world, and I thank you, bro, for everything that you're doing for your people, for your family, for you. And I'm excited for what's to come, for the Doc Native story, and it's always going to get more brighter, more colorful. And I thank you once again for doing this interview, man. And I hope you have a good day, brother.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it so much. Oh, hey, I'm gonna be going on tour pretty soon. My very first tour.
Okay.
I'm in talks with it right now. Just got the RV yesterday, so we're gonna start banging out dates, and so I'm gonna try to make it over to Arizona. I think we're gonna start off on the West Coast and then hit the Midwest and then end up in New York and then come all the way down to Miami. So this is one of my first big tours. I'll put the dates out as soon as I get them, and then I want to meet everybody. We've been in the house for too long.
Mm-hmm.
As long as we save the social distancing and all that good stuff. I mean, come out and support your boy, man.
Yep. Hell yeah, bro. But is there anything else you want people to check out, follow?
Yeah. Go follow my if you're not following me already, follow my Instagram, Doc Native Music, DocNativeMusic. Follow my YouTube page. I'm about to work on a brand new music video next month. That was gonna be heavy. I got Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, anything and everything. I'm on Tidal. It's all Doc Native, DocNative.
Hell yeah, brother. Well, you better have a good day, man, because I'm going to be jamming your music right now, bro. Goku, that Goku flow, bro. Bro.
Goku flow with the pistol smoke.
All about that too, bro. Well, I thank you, brother. Hope you have a blessed day. And we'll see you in Phoenix on that tour. We'll see you in Phoenix. You better come to Phoenix, bro. Come to Phoenix, man. So many natives out here, bro, waiting for you. Guaranteed.
I miss all y'all. I'm coming. All
right, Doc. Have a good one.
Talk to you later.
All right, stay blessed.
You too.
All right, y'all. That's Doc Native for y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed the music at the beginning. I'm a little one up. But hey, it's another beautiful day to be indigenous. I'm just, highlighting what a native does today, and what a native doing right there in Seminole Res. He's making moves. As you see, he's going to try to get on tour. Maybe I think I didn't get a time. Maybe next year. I think hopefully next year he's gonna be coming down, making his way around the country, coming to a res near you or a city, on occupied lands. But I thank y'all for listening. I thank y'all for watching, sticking with us. Follow, like, share, do all what you do best. Of course, give us some feedback. I'm always down for that. If you're an artist or creative or business, or you got something to say, a story to tell, whatever you want to do. Let's talk about it, talk about your page, whatever you want to push, promote. Let's talk about it. I'm trying to help y'all get your content out there as well. This is Indigenize the World, another beautiful day. Hope y'all have a good day, man. Peace out, y'all.